Welcome back to another wreck diving video. This is going to be a way different wreck than the first one. And for everyone getting excited about blackfish season, you're going to learn some tips and tricks to catch more blackfish, to catch bigger blackfish, and you're going to see some pretty cool stuff down there. Enjoy.
So as you can see here, these conditions were a lot darker than in the first video, and there is a lot more structure. Here's inside the ship, the wheelhouse. As you can see, all the windows. There's quite a bit of sediment in the water as well. So this is where the ship meets the bottom of the ocean. And when I'm diving, I'm always looking underneath ledges and into crevices for lobsters and fish and things. Now this is the deck of the boat. As you could see, all the growth. It's pretty much taken over the ship, but it is well intact, as you could still see. There's some kind of cleat. And I am by no means a shipwreck expert. There's plenty of people out there that are, but I'm just a guy who likes diving to see fish and how they orient on structure and how they behave. And here's the bow of the ship. And an important thing that I look for when I'm diving wrecks is to look at the orientation of the wreck and the compass to know where you are when you're anchored above it. I'm a big black fisherman, and I'm a strong believer in being precise on the wreck. So if you know which way the ship is lying and where the good part of it is, it's going to be that much easier for you to locate and find fish. So speaking of fish, here they are. There's a bunch of sea bass hanging out, and these were all nice size. Probably all keeper size, which in New York is 15 inches. And you can see they're kind of just hanging out. And this is why when you are fishing wrecks or sea bass and you're jigging or bait fishing for that matter, if you find them, go right back over them and short drift it. Because if they're hanging out in one specific area, there's a reason for it. I don't know why, but they seem to favor certain areas over others that look pretty much the same to me. And here's a big piece of structure. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's pretty interesting. And you can see that brown rust on the ship. And if you ever see Todd come up with that reef rust on him, that's what it's from. It's really cool to see him with that coloration. Here you can see a Bergall, and they don't get too big in western Long Island, but out in Montauk they get big, and those eating size are good. There's a sea bass just hanging around some structure. This is real cool. And if you've ever been in a sticky situation while blackfishing and you're trying to get your rig back and you pull up on it and the line frays, it's because you're touching something like this, which is super sharp, and all it takes is a little bit of pressure with your line on that and it's going to snap. That stuff is super, super sharp. Really is like a maze down there. There is so much going on. And there he is, or she is, the almighty TOG. That's what we go down there for. You see a bunch of other fish in this area. And it's really strange how some places you'd think there'd be a bunch of fish, and there isn't, and then other places, they're all stacked up and living there. That's why it's so important when you are wreck fishing to pivot around and try to find the life before you just leave the spot to think that there's nothing there. Here's a rig, and I find a lot of them down there. And it's so important, if you are stuck, to break off at your rig, never at your reel, because then you're going to leave 80, 90 feet of line suspended there. So check out the color right here. That is awesome. Those colors are amazing. There's the inside of the wreck. Always poking my head in, seeing what's going on. And some more sea bass. So the profile of this ship is crazy, and how much there is going on. You can explore this for hours on end and not see everything. There's another Bergall. So you got your usual suspects on the reef, or on the wreck. You got your Seabass, Blackfish, Bergalls. And the dive light is so important, and especially a good one, because it gets dark and you want to see everything that's going on. And here's another one of those spots where these fish are just stacked up in a random spot, because it's sea bass and blackfish just hanging out down there in some random crevice. And that's a silver eel. And there's a little blackfish. Little female. And that's a wrap for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And be on the lookout for the last wreck diving video of the series coming on Friday.